The lawyer asked why my name was missing from my father's will. Then he played a recording that changed the entire family meeting. I was sitting in my father's lawyer's office expecting a normal inheritance meeting when the attorney suddenly closed the folder and looked directly at me. Before we continue, I need to ask you something. My heart immediately started pounding. My two older sisters were sitting across the table, already whispering about the house and investment accounts. I was the youngest, and I'd spent the previous 2 years caring for Dad while they lived in different states. The lawyer took a deep breath and said, "Your name isn't listed anywhere in the will." I actually froze. My sister Amanda quietly smiled. Well, Dad made his decision. I stared at her, completely confused. That doesn't make sense. He told me I'd always have the house. The lawyer didn't answer. Instead, he reached into a drawer and pulled out a small USB drive. He plugged it into his laptop and played a recording. My father's voice filled the room. "If you're hearing this, I'm probably gone." My eyes instantly filled with tears. He sounded weak but completely calm. "I know everyone expects my youngest daughter to inherit the house because she cared for me. That's exactly why I changed my will." My sisters looked at each other. My stomach twisted. Dad continued, "I discovered someone has been taking money from my accounts. I want the person responsible to believe they won." The room became dead silence. Amanda's smile disappeared. The lawyer calmly paused the recording and looked around the table. My older sister suddenly snapped. "This is ridiculous," she shouted. Dad wasn't in his right mind. The lawyer didn't react. He simply opened another file containing bank statements. Thousands of dollars had been transferred from Dad's account into an online investment account under a name none of us recognized. I looked at my sister. Her face had gone completely pale. "Amanda," I whispered. She wouldn't look at me. The lawyer pressed play again. Dad's voice returned. "I know who is doing it. I also know why." My heart started racing. Then Dad said something that made my entire body freeze. "Amanda believes I don't know about the debt she created using my name." My sister immediately stood up. "Turn that off," she screamed. The lawyer calmly replied, "Sit down." She slammed her hands onto the table. He was sick. He didn't know what he was saying. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The woman I'd defended for years was now desperately trying to destroy the only evidence proving what she'd done. My other sister started crying. "Amanda, tell me this isn't true." The lawyer opened one final folder. Inside were copies of loan applications, forged signatures, bank transfers, and security footage showing Amanda entering Dad's office late at night. My hands were trembling. Dad hadn't left me out of the will because he didn't love me. He had deliberately created a trap. The lawyer explained that the original will had been placed in a secure trust, while the version excluding me had been intentionally shown to Amanda so she'd continue believing she was getting everything. Dad had spent his final months gathering evidence against her. I felt tears running down my face. "Why didn't he tell me?" I whispered. The lawyer looked at me sadly. "Because he was afraid you'd confront her before he had enough evidence." Amanda finally collapsed into her chair. Her voice became a tiny whisper. "I only borrowed it." I stared at her. "You forged his signature." She started sobbing. "I was going to pay everything back." I shook my head. "You had 2 years to do that." The lawyer quietly informed her that the evidence would be turned over to investigators. My sister looked at me desperately. "Please don't let them take me away." For a moment, I remembered every childhood birthday, every family vacation, every time she'd held my hand when I was scared. Then I remembered Dad, sitting alone in his house while someone he trusted stole from him. The meeting ended with Amanda being escorted out, while my other sister and I stayed behind staring at Dad's final letter. The lawyer handed it to me. I opened it with shaking hands. It contained only 3 sentences. "You were never my second choice. You were the daughter who stayed. I didn't leave you the house because you cared for me. I left it to you because I knew you'd protect it." I couldn't stop crying. Months later, I moved into Dad's house and kept his old chair exactly where he'd left it. Sometimes I still sit there with a cup of coffee and imagine him telling me about his day. The inheritance mattered, but the real gift was knowing that even at the end, my father trusted me enough to make sure the truth survived him. If you discovered that a family member had secretly stolen from your parent, would you report them even if it destroyed the family? Yes, no.